Welcome back to Clear Picture Cares. I'm your host, Jason Noble, and with me today I have Victor Coachman from Expanding the Table. I'm really excited to have you join us to share what is going on in the Somerville area with Expanding the Table. It's an amazing organization. Victor, thank you so much for coming in so you could share with us the great work that's being done.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for inviting me over. Expanding the Table is an organization that we're in Somerville. We're a nonprofit, and our main mission is to serve and feed everyone, no questions asked.
I love the where how you end it, no questions asked. Can you share a little bit more about expand on that?
Yes. There are many organizations and government agencies that are set up to help people, but there's paperwork involved. A lot of times you have to bring supporting documentation to show your income, your employment. We don't ask any of those questions. Why? Because we realize that many people run into situations where they just need a little help with a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we step in to help bridge those situations.
Bridge that gap.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. I mean, we were talking before we started to record just about you don't know what's going on with your neighbor or something that could come up with a medical expense or some sort of transportation cost.
Yes.
And next thing you know, you get behind, you get into the cycle with credit card debt,
Yes.
and you don't know how you're going to get your next meal.
That's correct.
Right. So Expanding the Table, I love the name Expanding the Table. How did the organization get started?
Well, we started about 10 years ago. There were some concerned neighbors and citizens there in Somerville who saw a need. They identified a need. And they were very passionate about it. So they pulled their resources together and started helping their neighbors. About 3 years ago, 2021, Expanding the Table became a standalone nonprofit. And so we've been going hard and strong ever since then with our food truck. And we have designated locations where our neighbors know where we're going to be. We're in different locations, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. And it's just a great thing. We also realize that some people don't need help every month with food,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some situations that they just don't know. So we're happy to get in there and bridge that food situation, the food insecurity, by expanding the table for them.
I love it. I love it. And this is where we want you to go to expandingthetable.com so you could learn more about this awesome organization, see upcoming events, and just see how you could get involved. Maybe just forwarding it on to someone that you care about. Who knows? Maybe they're in need of this at the right time. It's the Lord's way. So when I go into, just looking at, there's a lot of organizations, as you mentioned.
Yes.
But when you have to qualify to get the help, you might be where you make a little bit more than what is a qualification, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck and you're just barely getting by. So that's where I see Expanding the Table really coming into play.
Yes.
And I'm assuming, and I want to make sure that when you go on the website, you can see the locations that Expanding the Table goes on to.
Yes. Our website I think it's very well laid out and friendly. So yes, you can go on there. You can find events. You can sign up to help us in various capacities. We have calendars of events. It's a pretty thorough website. Yes.
Now I want to ask, do you have any upcoming events that we should know about?
Do we? Yes. Right now we're doing a capital campaign. We're trying to raise $150,000 to replace our aging food truck. Our food truck is a 1991, so we maintenance it and keep her going. However, it's got a lot of mileage on it and a lot of play in the steering wheel when you drive it. So that's one of our main objectives is a fundraiser or a capital campaign for this new food truck. And we're going to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. We're going to have a barbecue there in Somerville. It's the first weekend in May. I believe it's the 3rd of May.
That's right.
And so we're really excited about that, the celebration of 10 years of Expanding the Table.
Oh, 10-year celebration with barbecue here in the Low Country. Get out there. Go to the website, learn more about that barbecue event for a 10-year anniversary of Expanding the Table. That's going to be a wonderful event. One of the things that I want to circle back on is 150,000 will be able to get another food truck. So you have this other one from 1991. What happens to that? Does that go out to pastor? Do you do a ceremony for that, or what happens with that other one?
Well, we anticipate keeping that truck going. We've been blessed to expand over into an area called Lincolnville, which is a town adjacent to Somerville.
Mm-hmm.
So we're now serving there twice a month. So we're looking to expanding the table, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But we're excited about helping the community. One of our observations over the last few years, and I think most people know, inflation has really whittled away at discretionary income,
Mm-hmm.
extra money. So we've seen a couple years, 3 years ago, to serve one person was about $2. Now it's up to about $5 a person. That's $20 for a family of four. So,
Yeah. Inflation is, I mean, you don't need me to explain what inflation is doing to your own personal pocketbooks. However, nonprofits, organizations, expanding the table, they're relying on your generosity, your involvement, your donation of your time, talents, and treasures so they could go serve the community that's fallen into this gap. Hence, no questions asked. It's something I really resonated with expanding the table. Can you share some stories with us? I love story time, right? This is where I just want to sit back and hear awesome stories of those that you have served within expanding the table.
oh yes, there's so many stories that come to mind, and one in particular, I brought a dessert, and if I may show this dessert. Now, our volunteers are fantastic. We have volunteers that prepare meals. We have volunteers that prepare desserts. And they don't just go get a bag of cookies and take it out and put it in a Ziploc. No, there's a lot of love. This is a beautiful cookie. And about 2 months ago, I've got to know a lot of the folks that come. There's a grandmother. Mm-hmm. She is now trying to take care of her 4 grandchildren. That's not uncommon. The young man came up to the truck and to get the 4 meals. And I watched as we put the meals in the bag and they bagged the cookie. I was putting water in the bag for the young man. He's about 12 years old, I think, 11 or 12. And he was looking at the cookies. And he said, "Hey, mister, can you eat them?" And I said, "Sure you can." And I watched this young man take the bowl off and he bit into this cookie. And the look in his eyes and the smile on his face, mm-hmm. It was priceless. Mm-hmm. So, in addition to providing nutritious meals, we want to share a little love.
That's right.
You know, and when you put love into your meals, and like I said, I'm so pleased with our volunteers, what they do, because something as simple as a dessert, a cookie, can just do so much to lighten the spirit in the hearts of folks.
Yeah. I mean, here's the grandma caring for 4 grandchildren, wondering where the next meal is going to come from. And then here's one of the grandchildren going up and getting that cookie.
Yes.
Right. It brings that you matter. Yes. You care. And we also want to not just provide you nutritious food, but we also want to show you love with a sweet treat.
Absolutely. And I wish you all or someone could come out. One of our stops is a park called Doty Park.
Okay.
And it's like a family gathering there. So you have folks there waiting. They converse. The volunteers know just about all of the people by first name and what have you. I think that's very nice. It's a very human touch. And we actually go to the effort to serve the meals to those who will sit out there and wait. So again, it's camaraderie. They get together. They talk. It's just a great thing.
What I hear is community. You know, I watched this documentary recently on Netflix. It's called Join or Die. I don't know about the title, but it's the Join or Die.
Right.
And it came off of a book called Bowling Alone. And it was really around in the United States history's past, a lot of people were part of organizations, like either bowling leagues or some sort of, like, let's say Rotary Club or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And we moved away from that, right? What I hear from what you just said with that example of just going to the park, it's like a community comes together to help each other, but like people know each other. right? It's like where you go, everyone knows your name.
Yes.
And like if they don't know your name, guess what? They're gonna ask you. They're gonna get to know you and want to get to know you with that generosity, but genuine care.
Yes.
It's more of that we do in our community, we do in our country. It helps us sow the anything that of division that we are in this together, representing the Charleston and the Somerville community.
We are. I think people need to appreciate the fact that when you're in need, our government can't be everywhere at the same time. So individuals have to step up and help one another. I think we're still having a good example of that with the hurricane recovery.
Oh yeah.
So if it weren't for concerned folks, passionate and loving one another, to go out literally into the woods and over the mud and whatever it took to get to their neighbors.
Yes.
And then so that's our attitude. That's our approach in Somerville. There are a lot of people that have a key to a house, but you don't know what's going on behind the door. You don't know that they're going paycheck to paycheck. There are a lot of people who load up their credit cards, and then the credit card interest rates go up. So it's a vicious cycle, and they just need help, a meal. So we don't ask questions. We feed infants all the way up to seniors, with veterans, retirees. In fact, there's a misnomer that the only people that are hungry are homeless people, and that's so far from the truth. That is so far from the truth. There are a lot of our neighbors that are in need, temporary assistance, bridging the gap, expanding their table with a hot, nutritious meal, and some love. Yes.
So you're doing a capital raise right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go on to the website, expandingthetable.com. Go on there, learn more about this wonderful organization. And you could right there on the website, I saw you could click on donate and go through the experience and the process to help Expanding the Tables expand and reach out to other communities to help those people that are in need. No questions asked. I love that part of it. What if someone's like, you know what, I love the mission, I love what's going on, I don't have like finances, but I still want to get involved. Yes. Where could they go to learn more? And not only that, but what are some of the other things that Expanding the Table is looking for as far as getting help with?
Okay. Well, our website, expandingthetable.com, you can go on and volunteer. We need help in so many different areas. First of all, volunteers. Without them, we couldn't do what we do. We have food serving teams, food preparation teams. We have dessert teams. We have a need for drivers. We have a need for hosts, where when we go to various locations, we will plate the meals and actually hand distribute them. I think that's a very nice touch. We need finances. Of course, we receive funds. We write for grants. We look and solicit corporate donors. There's no donation that's too small to help us. Again, keep in mind that it's about $5 to feed one person now. Yeah. So we are always happy and looking for donations. The food truck, we're desperately trying to replace that with a new vehicle. And we believe that with the help of the good Lord, we will.
That's right. Okay? That'd be a game changer to be able to have two vehicles to then be able to expand what Expanding the Tables was already doing. And there's a question I always like to ask, and I'm very intrigued into hearing your answer to this question. For those who watch and listen, you already know what's coming, right? But if you could share with our listeners the importance of giving back to the community, what would that be?
I never thought that there would be such a great feeling to give and don't expect anything in return. When you reach that plateau, understanding that we're very blessed, even in our worst situations, someone has it worse, much worse. Food and water and shelter are basic things that we all need. Mm-hmm. It's hard to build upon anything else if you cannot help a person with shelter, food, water. Okay, so this is like the basic premise or building stone to get better, and bigger. Passion, loving your fellow human being, and realizing that it could be you. And I say that to say many people are doing well today, and something unexpected could happen. And then all of a sudden, you're looking for assistance and help. So, folks who are passionate, folks who are willing to commit themselves to help one another, we make it. We make our towns better. We make our country better by helping one another and sharing the love with one another. It doesn't always take money. Time is very important. And again, to look at someone, ask them how they're doing, to hand them a cold bottle of water, or to hand a kid
A cookie.
a cookie. Yes.
But you got to be there to hand them that water. You
Yes.
got to be there to hand them that cookie.
Yes.
Right? So if you're in a situation where you're compelled to get involved, go to the website,
Yes.
expandingthetable.com. There's many ways to get involved. We just heard this from Victor Coachman. I am so blessed to have you come join us today. I got to say, the whole office, just get in to talk to Victor. Like, they're bouncing around this office right now. He brings this contagious enthusiasm, is what I would say. Is the two words I could describe what you bring. And if you're interested in learning more about that, you know where he's gonna be. He's definitely gonna be at that barbecue on May 3rd.
Yes.
Go check that out. Get some good barbecue. Learn more about Expanding the Table. But in the meantime, go to the website, expandingthetable.com. You just watched and listened to another Clear Picture Cares. I'm your host, Jason Noble. Victor Coachman, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You have a great day.
You too, sir.
And you do as well.